DARUMA is believed to be the first film starring two disabled leads, Tobias Forrest and John W. Lawson, in a story that's not about disability.
DARUMA is the first film in the history of filmmaking, as far as we can find out, that's ever had both lead actors cast with a disability. So it proves that there is an audience out there for authentically cast films.
This is about friendship, fatherhood, family, love, and so much more.
You know, we go to movies to feel something. We want to feel something, and DARUMA is a movie that will make you feel.
Welcome to Meet the Biz. Okay, today I'm very excited because this film it's amazing. I was thinking, what can I say about DARUMA? And it's a visual feast of storytelling full of heart and life. And we have got the producer, the director, the writer, the cinematographer, and the two leads here today. And we're going to first bring on the wonderful director, Alexander Yellen, who is the director and cinematographer. He is a veteran of 65 feature films and 90 episodes of television, including Sci-Fi's series Z Nation. And we also have KELLI McNeil-YELLEN, and she is the producer and the writer of DARUMA, a graduate of the University of Southern California School of Drama and Groundlings Writing Program. And her first feature script won the first place at the UCLA Extension Feature Film Screenwriting Contest. So here they are, the beautiful husband and wife. There we go, Alexander. Hey, how are you?
Hey.
Hey, good to see you both. And congratulations on this truly exquisite film.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We are very happy to be here. So we wanted to talk with you and your network, and we wanted to just kind of share this because this is a really special moment, not just for us, but I think everybody in the community and everybody that's been rooting for us for the last 5 years as we've done this.
Really amazing. Now, you started with a short, correct?
We started with a proof of concept, actually. So I can tell you how this all kind of got started. I mean, it's so in case your audience doesn't know, I think you do know, Alex and I are our husband and wife team. So this was one of the very first scripts that I let him read of mine when we first started dating. And I was very protective of it because I knew I had a very specific vision of how I wanted to do it. I wanted to authentically cast it. And I knew that I was going to face a lot of insurmountable roadblocks to do it the way I wanted to do it.
Now, I'm going to insert here. Why did you, when some people don't care about authentically casting, why did you want to?
So I think that the majority of people in the community know that, disability is always the last thing on people's minds until it affects them personally. And I had a family member endure a life-changing injury. And at the time, there was no support, really. The Reeve Foundation, wasn't what it was. There wasn't really social media. There wasn't anything available as a resource like there is now to kind of cope with this devastating, loss and injury. And the only film at the time, I don't want to name the name, it's a really great film, but it basically said that death was better than living with a disability. And I did not agree. I knew that we could do better. I knew that there could be another way of storytelling because my relative was still the same person. They just had an injury, but they were still the same person. So what, it was just mind-boggling to me. So I wrote this script. It is not based on a true story, but I wrote it as a way to process my grief and to tell a different narrative about somebody just existing in life with a disability. And I wanted to have the emotional burdens and, you know, the emotional journey. That was the thing that they needed to overcome, not the injury. So that's how and why I got involved in doing this. Now, I did a draft of that script in 2008. So that will tell you how long we've been working on this. So then years later, I give it to Alex. I hear him in the room laughing, like just laughing hysterically. And of course, I'm very nervous about him reading. So I go in and I'm like, what are you laughing at? Like, why are you laughing? And he goes, this is hysterical. And I'm like, this is a drama. Like, this is a drama. And he goes, no, this is a dark comedy. And he goes, what are you going to do with this? And I said, I don't know. I was like, I don't know if anybody's going to make this. I was like, I've already given it to my reps who've said, you know, we'll look at this if you want to cast name actors or something. And I said, that's not the way I want to do this. So Alex said, I'll direct it. So I was like, are you sure? And he was like, let's figure out a way. So this is how we started off this very long journey together. And this is how we shot the proof of concept in the fall of 2018 and how we came to know our fantastic leads, John and Toby. And I feel like I very much dominated this part of the interview. So I will let someone else take it over from here if anybody else wants to
Well,
join.
Alexander, what about, I mean, were you married when she first gave you the script?
No, this was she gave it to me about a year into us dating.
Okay.
But it was definitely, I mean, you know, from a personal perspective, if you're going to be involved, you know, romantically with another creative, it's really important that you respect their work. And, you know, because if you don't want to have to lie to them for the rest of your life and say, oh no, that's really great, honey. That's a really great writer. So it's, you know, it's a little scary when you open yourself up, you know, and let somebody really see your creative work. And, you know, I think for both of our benefits, that went really well. It turns out, unsurprisingly, that Kelly's a fantastic writer, and that was a really good script. And it was like, okay, you know, I already like this person, and they're talented, so I think this is going to go really well, both professionally and personally.
Yeah. You know, I'm what came to my mind are like you know, Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward, and you know, those teams, those married teams that are so amazing together.
I'll take that comparison.
Yeah. As Kelly said, we do have the two main leads here, and I'm going to bring them on as well. The wonderful, well, Mr. John Lawson. I mean, he's directed, beside acting, he's directed over 20 films and appeared in 35 films and TV shows. He's a certified scuba instructor, and his films Taco Tuesday, Second Date, Gia and the Dragon, and Whitney's Wedding were all huge award winners. And then we have the other lead actor, FORREST. Tobias Forrest recently won the Christopher Reeve Acting Award at the prestigious Media Access Awards for Patrick in DARUMA. And his credits include How to Get Away with Murder, Weeds, The Sessions. He was featured on the Academy Awards. He is an actor, singer, advocate. Here is John Lawson and Tobias Forrest. Yay!
Hey,
Hello.
thank you for having us. Yeah, thank you. First
So,
up,
yeah.
can I just say kudos to Alex, because most people at a 1-year anniversary are like, here's some flowers and chocolate. He's like, I'll make your movie.
I like that.
In a year, or let's make a movie.
Listen, I have consistently said Alex is the best man I've ever met, and there's not a day that goes by that I am not so grateful to be married to him. So I'm sorry.
Also,
Wonderful.
that's in my diary as well, Alex.
Aw, are you jealous, Tobes?
No, I don't hate it.
Now, I want to know from both of you, I mean, I want to ask the director and producers and writer and cinematographer how the casting came about this, but I also want to know from John and Toby how you got into these roles.
Alex?
Readers first.
Well, we when we started the process, we were committed to to casting authentically, but we really had no idea what was out there. We, didn't have a lot of experience with or exposure to the disability acting, disability filmmaking communities. And we just went the sort of traditional route. We put out, casting notices on all the major services, and we started getting self-tape auditions, and we went through a very traditional casting process, and there was nothing fancy or complicated about it. It's sort of an industry standard. I'll happily let John and Toby talk about what it was like from their side of it.
It's all John's fault, so I'll let him tell the story.
Well, in my 40 plus years of acting, or 35 as a double amputee, it was the first time I had ever seen a breakdown for a double amputee. I've seen, guy missing one arm or just old guy, but never a specific breakdown for a double amputee. So my manager called and said, "Do you want to do it?" And I go, "Yeah." So Toby and I read together, and we do help each other with auditions, and do each other's auditions. So I go over to Toby's and I go, "Hey, will you help me read?" And he goes, "Sure." I say, "Well, it's just for some stupid little independent film. Nothing will ever come of it. But if you'd help me read, it'd be kind of cool." So we're going through and we're reading it a couple of times together. And I said, "You should read for the guy in the wheelchair." No, it's a paraplegic. They'll want me to do all kinds of things I can't do. I said, "Doesn't matter, dude. Let them disqualify you. Don't do it yourself." "Well, I don't have a part to read." And I go, "Just read what you read." So we basically turned the camera around. Toby read what he had been reading opposite me.
John put the lines on his forehead or something like that. We did a
paper up to the screen. But yeah, so he got called in. He got called in as well to do a callback, and I did. And I think we asked if we could read together. And an important twist in this film is, although if they start out as adversaries or not good friends, that in the end they do become good friends. And I think the real life friendship that Toby and I've shared over 20 years or whatever it is now, that came through. It's easy to be mad at somebody and pretend like you're mad or acting, but I think the real friendship is what came through for us.
And for me, it was also the fact that it really required the three of them, like, to not convince me, but I had a lot of hesitation in the sense that I knew that this was an important project for Kelly and Alex, and I knew it didn't have a huge budget. I knew it didn't have a lot of time. There was a lot of, you know, stuff to it, and also in the script, here's a character that can do a lot of physical things that I couldn't, or that I thought would take a lot of time and would eat up resources and eat up time and eat up money and be disappointing. I thought my physical limitations as a quadriplegic would be too limiting on what they wanted to achieve because of my experiences before being, I always had to work my way around physical stuff with going like, I think my character would do this, and not letting the directors know really my physical limitations until I'm there and working around it, right?
Right.
And this was ahead of time. I said, I don't want to ruin this for you guys, And Alex was so insistent on, dude, we can figure that out. I'm like, I can't get in and out of a car. We don't need to see that. We'll figure that out, And Kelly and Alex were so insistent that, like, we just need someone that can bring this emotional world to life, right? And John and I already have the emotional connection, so that's easy. And the physical stuff, you don't have to green screen John. You're saving money there. I brought my own chair. Didn't have to rent that.
I brought my own prosthetics too.
We might have taken a little bit more time on my behalf, but we made up for it with no CGI.
I'll paraphrase, and it's hard even with Kelly and Alex here, but I think the tipping point came when Kelly told Toby, it's not about what you can or can't do, it's about what the character can or can't feel. And that was, I think, a big tipping point as well.
Ah,
And I
I've got to give
paraphrase, I
I've
guess
got to
you
give
could
my
say that.
husband credit for that. Alex
Oh,
told to Toby, I wish I could take credit for that brilliant stroke of directing, but I cannot.
oh, okay.
Oh,
I'll give it to Alex then.
I'm listening to all this conversation and it's making me tear up because this is how directors and producers and creative artists should work and collaborate together. It's like, sure, let's work together. And by you doing that, Alex, it's amazing. It's the heart chakra is open and
Uh,
the mind chakra.
I also feel like it's a bit of a lesson because while most other directors and creators are trying to take an able-bodied person and present them as a disabled person, you know, with less ability in a sense, um, this is an opportunity for me not only to explore all of the emotional range that Kelly has created in this amazing character in this story, but also to be presented as, hey, you can take this person who really has a lot of physical limitation, and with the art form of of of
Creative
film,
director.
then you know I'm able to be more able-bodied than I am in real life, right? And so he flipped the coin in a lot of ways to disprove all of these arguments that people say it costs too much money, it costs too much time, all the things that I was putting on myself because society and the industry had taught me that was disproved very quickly and easily.
Well, what you're saying is so important. We as all actors go out and we say, "Oh no, I'm not that old," or "I'm not the character," "I'm not this," and we block ourselves from actually possibly getting the job. And this is great that, of course, Alex was open. It's like, no, 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 no. What This is a piece of advice that I'd love to hear from all of you. What would you tell an actor or a writer or a producer who has a vision and everybody else says no, or your mind says no, but you say to yourself, I'm going to make this because this is what is here.
I would like to take this one because I've been sitting with this the longest. So this has been, you know, ruminating around in my brain for almost 15 years now. It's wild. And to have it be here and to have the level of people, and you know, we're screening at Slam Dance now. I don't like,
Yes.
we're never going to get any better than, like, it's amazing. Like, look at what we did. And I think that there is this pervasive myth that goes on in Hollywood, especially in the industry, that if you achieve a certain thing, or if you know, get to a certain level, or if you get all of these accomplishments, that somebody's going to come in and take the wheel and drive the bus for you. And that's just not going to happen. Like, it's just not going to happen. There is never going to be a person that works harder on your script or your project than you. So I would say that if you have a very specific thing that you want to do, if you have a very specific vision, you've got to find a way to do it. And it's taken me 15 years to figure that out and to get to this point. So it takes a long time. One of the best pieces of advice that I've ever heard is that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is today. So it's all of these little things that just keep, you know, going into this, what I call film soup. Are you guys familiar with the story of Stone Soup?
Yes.
Yes. So this is an analogy that I use a lot, and I will probably write a book on this at some point one day. But the story of Stone Soup, there's a hungry traveler that's going through town, and he is turned away by every single villager who will not, you know, give him the time of day. They won't feed him, they won't take him in. So he's left with nothing, and he's cold and he's hungry. So he has a rock. And he has a little pail. So he puts the rock in there and he gets water from the river and he starts boiling this rock in this bucket. And people are like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" He's like, "Well, I'm making a magic soup." And they're like, well, can I have some? And he's like, "Well, yes, but if you had some herbs, this would be a much better soup." And eventually more and more people get attracted and like they're interested in it. And by the end, they've got this incredible feast for everyone to share. So I really like to approach all of my projects with my film soup analogy. So that's what we've made here. We've made a feast for everybody, and it's amazing. So
And
Let me also add, just because bringing this sort of, you addressed the question about acting also, and just thinking about auditions and sort of what, people are looking for, as an actor, you really can't know. You can't be in the head of the casting directors or the directors or the producers to say, here's what they're looking for. So all you can do, and really this is the best advice I can give, is give the version of the performance that resonates most to you. Bring your authentic self, be real, and just, whatever choice you're going to make, just commit to it, and don't try to chase what you think they're looking for, because that could end up reading fake. And with Toby's character, it was originally written for someone who's paraplegic, and he stood out so much for his performance that we reconceived the role and did some script rewrites to really accommodate, to make him as an actor fit into that role better, make the role fit him. And that's something that if you just tried to pretend to be something else or someone else, might not have resonated as much with us from the performance audition standpoint. So, you never know.
Right. Well, it's so wonderful, like you said, Kelly, that it's going to Slam Dance. And I got the email today about the gift bags. I was like, you got gift bags. And then I saw dances with films. And I was there. I was so blessed to be there at the Man's Chinese Theater. So it was, I know you're probably seeing somebody.
are you serious?
Are we serious about
a guest cameo?
Hello?
Hello? Oh, he's off. Yes, I was going to ask about Barry. How did you get Barry for this film?
Oh, how did you get me? I think it was because of the $100,000 you paid me.
Yeah.
Right. But we made the movie on a shoestring because we gave Barry the whole budget.
All the money. Barry, your camera's off. We can't see you. I didn't know you were going to be on today. This is such a surprise.
That's what Meet the Biz is about. We surprise you.
Oh my God.
There you are, Barry.
Oh, good. There you go. So yeah, $100,000. I didn't think it was over the top.
Hey, but you paid back in ceramics.
Oh my God.
We appreciate that.
Oh, well, yeah. You know what my biggest regret from this movie is that I didn't get a chance to work with you guys enough.
Oh.
I really didn't. How long was I actually on this film? 3 days, 4 days?
We had you for 2 days, Barry.
2 days of work with a day off in between.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was beyond memorable for me because there's bucket list moments you don't realize are bucket list moments until you're in them. And doing a scene with you and like the instant connection and emotion that you're able to provide is one, beautiful and a great opportunity, but also just to have the history of you sitting next to me it was an honor, Barry. And it is definitely one of those moments that I will always cherish, even just having that moment. And that's the beauty of film right there, is that it was captured for me, like in my own mind and emotion, but it's on the screen too. And it was so awesome to have you and to have you here today.
Well,
thank you. You know what? I just have one thing to say. I just recorded that whole thing and I'm sending it to my agent.
Good. Tell them all about me.
Well, I wanted to say that in a broad stroke, this film is about found family. And that's usually what happens in front of the camera. And this production is about the found family that's behind the camera as well. And that's meant a lot to me.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Well, and the connection that you had, Toby, I know you were talking about working with Barry, but the connection that you both had and all of you had all the actors was phenomenal. It was so this, and that's what makes this film so powerful as well.
I want to know though, Barry, how did you get involved?
Oh, I'll answer that.
Okay, you answer it because I've known you for years.
Yeah, I think that's the secret is the first time that I met Barry on a sci-fi adaptation of Moby Dick that was, it was like a nuclear submarine captain, and it was it was a B movie, but Barry really brought his A game every day.
It was a C movie. Well, C. Maybe it's backwards. C movie.
Oh, I get it, because it's on the sea.
Yeah. See. Oh, good. Yes.
I get it.
And I just remember one scene in which you lit the hell out of it. It was so good, and I fell in love with you just in that one scene alone. You didn't save the movie, but
No, well, and I'm not sure you did either, but
thank you.
there were
I didn't even try.
There was Barry, and then there was sort of everybody else, and not to disparage any of the other actors who did great work, but Barry treated this thing like Shakespeare, and he brought an absolutely a genuinely moving performance to something that was sort of written for schlock value, and that always stuck with me. And we ended up working together 2 more times after that. But he's, from the very first time, Kelly and I talked about it, we sort of talked about the role as like a stunt casting role. And on my very, very first list of names, Barry was the first name I wrote down.
Because I do stunts. Was this a stunt part? I mean, did I have to like endanger myself in some way?
What was the stunt you did on this?
Only emotionally.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
It was wonderful. Well, thank you. Keep on going. I interject these little sarcasms occasionally because I have nothing brilliant to say.
Oh,
Yeah,
but they
can I-
are brilliant.
before you send
Can
it
I-
to your manager.
Can I tell you that something that Barry did that surprised all of us on set that was just absolutely astonishing? So this speaks to this man's character as well as his talents. So I didn't know this, but Barry is a potter. So he works with ceramics. And, everybody wants to know the story of, what is a DARUMA doll? What does it mean? And it's a Japanese luck doll. And I'm not going to try to say the Japanese phrase that goes along with it, but essentially oh, you have it. Oh, you have it. That's wonderful. Oh, that's wonderful.
Yep.
So essentially what happens when you get one, you're supposed to make a wish and color in the eye. And then when your wish comes true, you color in the other eye. And the saying that goes along with the DARUMA doll is fall down 7 times, get up 8. And I could not think of a better tagline for basically what we've all been through trying to get this movie through the hoops and through the ringer. And I think that really resonated with Barry because he showed up. I picked him up from the airport and he had these suitcases full of these ceramic DARUMA dolls that he made.
Oh, there's one.
For everybody. He brought so, and I still have a couple that we haven't passed out. We reserved those for VIPs. But it was just a testament to, early on before anybody knew that we were going to be playing in any festivals or anything like this, like you talk about film family and like, this is it. And it has been an absolutely astonishing, journey for all of us. So Barry, we all have those and they're actually in a glass china case at our home.
Oh, nice.
So,
Barry,
If you need more of them, by the way, they're $300 each from now on. Sort
well,
of like
that's what I was going to ask. Where do we buy these, Barry? Do you have a website of
you
your
don't.
own?
You have to give money to the film, show up. You've got to rent theaters. You've got to do everything, and then maybe you'll get one. But not from me. I could make a whole bunch more, but it wasn't in my contract. I got $100,000 for I think I made 70 or 80 of those things, and I would need another $100,000 just for another 10.
yeah, I'm afraid that John and Toby have just eaten up all the other resources. So we'll just have to put a pin in that.
That's where the money belongs. Believe me, that's where the money belongs.
Well,
you guys. I'm going to cut you off again. I know you want to talk, but
no, talk.
I think there's two guys on the bottom of the screen here. I mean, they deserve so much credit. I've been listening to some of their interviews over the last month or two, and they're so good at it. They're so brilliant at it, not just what they did in the movie, but how they're communicating about the movie to the public and opening up eyes and opening up hearts. And you guys, God bless you. I think you just are doing a great job. And okay, you can talk now. Go
Well,
ahead.
that actually means so much because you've reached out to me personally, and it's mind-boggling to me. I'm getting a text from Barry Bostwick congratulating me for my acting, and just it's beyond that. And if you ever need minions for your pottery business, John and I, we're hands on.
Okay.
Well, I
Yeah.
He'll
I
do
can
the
be more hook, I
the
can
lips.
hook them.
But I do feel like this film was a bit of also 6 Degrees of Barry, in the sense that we also had Austin basis on the film, who had played your son in a
Right.
previous project. So it was really kind of cool for you guys also to run into each other, which was nice.
Oh, it was. Yeah. Yeah. Austin Basis. Boy, there's something you learn from Austin Basis as an actor. You don't ever stop communicating with your peers and networking. From the time I met him 20 something years ago, he has communicated so brilliantly with people he knew, and then pushing forward his career and keeping us all attuned to where he was, what he was doing, when it's on the air. And it was a real lesson to me about how you have to do acting these days and how you have to do your career these days. Before, when I was starting out, you just worked and then got drunk. But now it's different. I mean, you actually have to pursue things.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not that great at that part of it, but I'm amazed that Kelly and John are fantastic at
Yeah.
just getting the word out. I'm great in person. That's
Well,
the
I've been
only time I
married enough
shine.
times that I know when a woman tells you to do something, you just do it. And
Oh,
ask questions. Kelly says, "Go here, do this, say that," and that's what I do.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
you
I'm
don't-
Kelly
I'm
wears many hats.
you have to as as an indie production, and I will say that one of my greatest assets, in this film, I mean, in addition to being the writer and the producer of it, is I do have a marketing and a PR background. And David, you were talking about these gift bags that we are giving out. So every single attendee at both the Park City and the Salt Lake City is getting a gift bag. And I'm trying to total up the total retail value of these bags. It is hundreds of dollars. But that to me says something pretty interesting too, because a lot of people are like, oh, there's no money in this type of, film. Like there's, this is, if you authentically cast, it's going to cost you more money. I have 24 brands that say otherwise about the number of products that they have given for these bags. I'll do a post-mortem once we're done with the screening, because I want to get there, and because I've had them all shipped up to Salt Lake. But it's been staggering.
Plus priceless Barry Bostwick ceramics.
Oh, those are not going in the bags. I'm sorry.
Those
I'm
out-
sorry. No.
$100,000 it can go in the bag. My God. I just want that
keep
yoga
mine
mat.
closed.
I looked at the whole list of stuff, and I'll take that yoga mat.
Barry, I will get. What color, Barry? Do you want the pink one or the blue one?
Oh, I'll take the blue one.
Okay, you got it. You get a
I'll
Barry.
take the pink.
Okay, Dave.
No, I think that's good.
We had
What is
a
yoga? I don't understand. I thought it was yogurt. I'm sorry. I
Oh.
don't.
No, we had a yoga company called Chi Universe Yoga, and they donated 200 yoga mats.
Wow.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And I've got fleeces and hoodies and like gift certificates for beanies, and we've got cosmetics. I mean, all of this stuff in a bag. And, you know, the thing is that everything shipped to my friend's house in Salt Lake. So I owe my friend like a nice dinner for this, you know, because she's like, she just sent me a video of like her garage. I'm like mortified at like how much stuff is in her garage. But
Or a $10,000 Barry Bostwick ceramic Daruma plate.
you know what? You know what? I will. You know, Amber deserves one for everything that she's done. She actually deserves one of these, and I know she will be so appreciative of it because she's been in the arts for a long time. That's a good idea, honey. See how we work together. um,
I
but
love just sitting. This is wonderful. I'm just sitting and taking all you all in. It's that flow of a family, like you said. You're all so connected.
yeah, it's incredible.
And
Well, we look like the Brady Bunch right now.
we do. We
I
do.
don't know. I'm Flo.
Here's a
Yeah.
story.
And Alex, what Barry said earlier too, your visuals are stunning. I mean you're what is it from high above? I'm blanking.
Brown.
Ariel.
Your aerial views and everything. I mean, what do you I guess you're constantly learning and creating and growing with all of your ideas and what you brought to DARUMA. I mean, the lighting, the everything. It was beautiful.
Well, thank you very much for saying so. I mean, for anybody who doesn't know, my background is in cinematography, and the film I met Barry on, I wasn't the director, I was the cinematographer. And that's, I've been fortunate in that I work a lot. So that's a lot of practical training, a lot of opportunities to try new things and develop new skills. And it's really only since, I mean, I'd done some aerial stuff early in my career and some things I probably don't want to tell my parents about. But it's
hanging out of helicopters.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to tell your wife about that either. So
You know what? It's in the past. I've survived it. It's fine. We have drones now. We don't really need to do those things as much. But really, it's only in the last 3 years that I've really gotten to play around with drones, and it's totally changed what you can do in terms of creating, really expansive visuals on a small budget. And we went up to Washington State, Kelly and I, and did all this amazing second unit work in these beautiful open spaces. It's just the two of us, and we had a camera and a drone and
our dog in the back seat.
a dog in the back seat. But yeah, thank you for saying so. I also did want to add, when you talk about what the actors in particular bring to the, other things they bring to the table. John and Toby obviously brought a lot of depth to us in terms of the character and the disability angle, and helping us make those roles feel very authentic. One thing Barry did that I do want to call out, we did a table read on Zoom. This was, definitely during the height of COVID, and Barry doesn't live in California. I'm very sad about it, or I'd see him more often. But we did a table read over Zoom, and as soon as the table read was over, my phone rings, and it's Barry, and he said, "That was good. That was really interesting, but I have a question for you. Do you want this to be like, sort of an edgy indie, or is this more of a Hallmark kind of thing?" And I said, "Oh, I mean, it's more of an indie. Why do you ask?" He said, reading through it all, everybody feels very self-aware, and it feels like they're saying everything that they think. And that feels a little Hallmark. And it was a resonant thought. And I'd always thought, a lot of those things I find in the edit anyway. But that it was a really good note. It was something that Kelly and I took to heart as we did sort of our final planning for how to do the film. And some of that, there was a fair amount of dialogue that got cut out of the film, and basically, for any emotional moment or any substantive moment, we would do at least one take where we didn't say the lines, and it was just communicated all with looks. And that a tremendous amount of that made it into the film. If there wasn't something that had to be said out loud, it gave all of the actors so much room for just, in subtle emotive performance that especially when you see it on a big screen, I tend to find is much more affecting. And there were a couple of scenes. There was one in particular between Barry and Toby where we just couldn't make it work right. We couldn't get the emotion right with the lines. And so, we sort of sent everybody out of the room, and it was just the three of us and Kelly sitting there working through how to do it. And it was just, here, it boiled down to, here's what the emotion is. Just throw that emotion at each other, just stare each other down with that intention. And that's what's in the film. And it works so much better than it did in any of the earlier takes where they were trying to use words for it.
There is this one of the last shots of the film is off of Barry's face. And for me, it gives Patrick everything he's been looking for. And it is just a look. It's just a look from Barry. And that to me is like, I couldn't write that. That's the brilliance of hiring and casting amazing talent to bring your words to life, And that moment to me it makes the movie. And like it's that beat, it's that button of closure that you need for Patrick to know that things are going to work out. And it's there's not a word behind it. It's just a look. So if you haven't seen the film yet, just be prepared to have your heart wrecked.
I seriously, after seeing it at Man's Chinese Theater, I can't wait to see it again.
And also,
That was the thing for me is when we screened in LA, there were like 480 people in this theater because we had 30 wheelchairs that allowed 30 filmmakers to be there. And everybody cried at the right spot. They laughed at the right spot. And that's what you want to see, because we go to we watch films so we feel something. We want to feel something, whether it's happy, sad, or whatever. And that was the most realization to me that, you know what, this might be a little bit more than just some little bitty indie film that's never going to go anywhere.
Right. I think also to sort of just piggyback off of what these guys were saying, you let the audience do a little bit more of the work in that way, right? They're able to sort of fill in some of the narrative without having so much. And there's really some silent emotional moments, and like you can't not look into Barry's eyes and see like the depth, right? And the experience and all of that. And then we had Victoria, who is just this little actor who she knew every line she was ready for. She'd go straight from playing to a full-on emotional moment, and just didn't have to even do it twice. She's just such a great young little girl, brought it. And it was really great to see that. And it was cool to see the two of them together too. You've got, this level of experience and this level of innocence and inexperience. And as long as, you're bringing authentic emotion and your eyes are connecting with the other person, I think the camera will do its job.
Well, and Toby, how you connected to Abigail. I mean, the two of you had this amazing chemistry.
Well, she was fun. She's the only little girl I'll let drive my wheelchair.
He said she's
not
Abigail, not Victoria.
Oh,
Victoria too, but I was talking
Victoria
about
too. Then
everybody.
Abigail. No, Abby is like insane. That was another moment where you're like, oh my gosh, it's what a great opportunity to have this moment with this person. And she's someone who is so fun and authentic and just a joy to be around, like in real life. So being able to do a scene with her and really connect with her, and she's way more experienced. So, I just go, all right, I'm trusting you on this one, and I'm gonna just see where this goes. And she's fantastic. So what a great experience.
Well, I wanted to ask. Then this question is for everyone, and I usually ask this. This comes from Corey Allen, who I used to study with, and it's so connecting to what this film is about as well. Getting it out there with diversity and with the disability community and bringing everybody together. So the question is, what do you want the most at this moment in your life? Alexander?
Is this a professional question? Is this a personal question? This is
anything that comes to you. It could be professional, personal, whatever it means to you.
I mean, obviously, our focus is we have a very laser sharp focus on what's directly in front of us, which is slam dance. But you know, especially in the context of the film, we really want to get it out there, and there's nothing else like this out there. I've never seen another movie like this one, and there's a lot of noise to cut through, and there's a lot of marketing, and that's you know, there are studios and you know, streamers that put massive ad campaigns behind a lot of content, and some of that's good and some of it's not, a lot of it's not. And you know, we really are trying to find the best path to get this film in front of as many people as possible, because it is unique and it is different. And you know, I've worked on so many projects in my career that were just pure escapism. You know, it's entertainment, it's stuff that you can have on in the background, and that's great and it serves a function. But you know, every once in a while, you really want to do something that speaks to how you hope the world can be. You want to contribute to the conversation in a meaningful way. And that really is what this film is for me. If I were never known for anything else in my life, I'd be proud to be known for this, and allowing as many people as possible to have access to that, and maybe change a few minds, and maybe, you know, tell people that making films like this is worthwhile and profitable, so that there's more good, positive, real, representative, authentic work out in the world that also maybe can entertain some folks along the way. That's what I want. And world peace.
I don't want Trump to win. I want him in jail within the next 6 months. That's my whole wish for the year.
Well, you know, I've been an advocate for people with disabilities in front of and behind the camera for 36 years. And David, you know, we've known each other for a long time. And I've always wished for a vehicle that would put the message out wide. And little did I know that this would end up being the vehicle, a film about found family that became behind the scenes found family. And I think it really has a chance to make an impact. And, you know, as Alex said, we're really laser focused on slam dance and meetings, and hopefully some influential people in some of these studios and streamers and things that will see this and see the same product that we've worked so hard to make. So, and see the impact that it can have.
We've tried really hard to invite, you know, people from the streamers and networks to come. And, you know, we've dangled that out there for them. Whether or not they come, they'll probably show up and not even tell us that they're there, because they don't, you know, they want to make that determination on their own. But I will tell you, you know, when we did our screening in Los Angeles, and that was our premiere, and we did that in our own backyard, as John said, we had almost 500 people there. And I have never experienced anything like that in my entire life. And I don't know if I ever will again, but it's a moment that I want to bottle forever, because we got a standing ovation at the end of the screening. And Alex and I were mobbed, basically, like just with people wanting to talk to us and talk about the film and share their experiences. And I think that, you know, if the right, you know, distributor or platform or somebody, you know, who is in a position to take this film to the next level will be at our Park City screening, they're going to experience that again as well. And then they will really see the absolute value of this film. So
one other thing before, I know we're about to run out of time, that we must say too, is that Toby and I have known Peter Farrelly for years. I invited Peter to come see the film, you know, come see what we did. And he loved it so much. Now we're talking about a double Oscar winner, a double Golden Globe winner, with lots of films that have been very successful. He says, I like this film so much, I would put my name on it to help you get it out there. And so that to me says a lot, that a man with the history and that he has thought that about the film as well. And he saw it with everybody else in LA for the first time.
He has responded to every media request in regards to it. I mean, Peter is really just truly a believer in this project, and I can't thank him enough. And I don't know if you saw the recent Los Angeles Magazine article. I about fell out of my chair when I read that. I could not believe that. I could not believe it. I mean, a tiny indie film like this does not get that kind of coverage. Do you know what I mean? We don't like it's a special film, and every single one of the people that has been involved with it has made it that special.
Well,
So
I think Kelly did something amazing that created an opportunity for all of us. And you know, you say, what would you wish for? I mean, it's a multi-part thing. I would love to be able to turn on my TV soon and be able to watch a scene with Barry Bostwick and myself, or John and myself, and have it be on the front list of movies recommended to me. Because if a movie that I'm in is recommended to me on my Prime or Apple TV or whatever, like I'm the perfect audience for that. But I think furthermore, besides the disability agenda and all of those things, is one of the reasons why movies are important is they generate conversations. And they'll generate conversations about inclusion and disability, but more importantly, this will generate conversations between fathers and daughters. And I think that the heart of this story, you can take all of the inclusion and diversity and set it aside and go, this is a story about uh, being a good father and being a good person to someone that really needs you, and being there for that person, and being honest with yourself and your own demons. And I think that because all of that is in this story, conversations will be had that will heal years of relationships, you know, that have been torn apart. And I think that's the beauty of film and stories and creating, and one of the reasons and the benefits that we all get outside of some great Barry Bostwick ceramics
Wow.
is that knowledge that somewhere, the more people that watch this, the more opportunities for relationships to be healed through conversation.
Boy, that's great.
Beautifully said.
Oh, that was pretty deep, Toby.
well, I don't think anyone can show that up.
I love it. I want to thank you all for being here. We had a wonderful audience here too. I know we had 2 questions here, but we're running right out of time. But I just wish you the continued success with this beautiful piece of art, and that is going to change lives and perspectives. So thank you all for that.
Thank you for allowing us to meet the biz.
Yeah.
I love you all. Thank you.
Thank you all so much, and have fun. Have fun at Slam Dance.
Well, you know, it's going to be a high of 28 degrees and a low of 2. So, yeah.
Thank you all so much, and have fun. Have fun at Slam Dance.
Well, you know, it's going to be a high of 28 degrees and a low of 2. So, yeah, it will be cold fun. So,
Cold
thank
fun.
you very much.
And thank you
thank
for
you.
the interpreters too, Angela
Thank you,
and
interpreters.
Hope.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Barry. Bye, gang.
Bye. Great to see you guys.
Good to see
Thank
So
you.
good to see you
all.
too, Gary. It's good to
I
see
will-
everybody.
We will be together soon and live and in person somewhere
Yeah.
on a red carpet. I know.
I don't know if you stopped the recording, but you know, I didn't have a scene with Barry, but a little secret behind the scenes was his house was my house. So Barry Bostwick was in my house.
Oh,
So-
stop. Stop it.
You're never washing that couch again.
I'm never watching that couch again.
Did you miss the things that I stole from your house?
Oh, I haven't seen them yet, but yeah.
Yeah, because I've got them.
He's selling them on eBay.
I noticed the silverware was gone.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's so
right.
sweet. You guys are so sweet and so talented, and thank you for all the attaboys that you gave me. I deserve nothing. I give it all back to you. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye,
you.
everybody.
All right, guys.
Bye,
Much
Alex. Bye, Kelly.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.